Hello everyone, welcome to AWS Tutorials. In AWS Tutorials, we provide workshops and exercises to learn about AWS services. These workshops and exercises are published to our website aws-dozo.com. Today, we are going to talk about a new feature announced in Amazon Redshift, and that is about making cross-database queries. And this feature is still under preview, but we are going to see what problem this feature is going to solve, how to use it, and I also have a small demo at the end of the video. So let's get started with this feature. So let's talk about what problem we had and what this feature is going to solve. So what used to happen that when you are connecting with a Redshift cluster, actually you are connecting with a database in the Redshift cluster. So either it will be a database 1 or database 2 or database 3. So you make individual connections to these databases. But if suppose you have requirement, for instance, that you are connected to database 2 and you want to make query of data from database 1 and database 3 as well. So you're connected to 2, but you want to make query from 1 and 3 as well. That was not possible. Okay, so having a cross database query in Redshift was not possible. And this is the problem what cross database access is going to solve. That and the way it solves it is that just to repeat it and to make it very clear. So your cross database access makes sure that even if you are connected with database 2, you can make query with database 1 and database 3 as well in the same connection. And the way it works is that you have to create external schemas. So for database 1 and database 3, you have to create external schema. And then in your connection with database 2, you can use this external schema to make query. This is perfectly possible. And that is what cross-database access does. In cross-database access, you can create external schemas for your databases. And when you do so, even if you are connected to one database, using the external schemas of the other database, you can make cross-database queries. As simple as that. Okay, so how exactly it works? So as we mentioned earlier that you need to create external schemas. Suppose you have got Dozo database 1 and Dozo database 2 into your Redshift cluster. First you create external schemas for those databases. So you can say, okay, I'm going to create external schema. This is the name of the schema from Redshift database. This is the name of the database, and this is the schema of the database. And and it creates a schema over here. Then for other database, we create another schema. This is the name of the schema, and then this from the other database public schema. And then guess what? After that, you simply can make queries. So you can say here, okay, from DozoDB1 schema, there's a customers table, and then there is a DozoDB2 schema. There's an employees table. I want to query data from both, and I also want to make join between those schema and tables based on the fields. So you can very much make a cross database query by using the schema. So it's pretty simple and straightforward, but a very powerful tool because many organizations have different, more than one databases created into a Redshift cluster. And if they have a need to make queries across these different databases, then they used to have a lot of challenge. And this cross database access simply solves that problem using external schema method. Okay, so few things to know because you need to know the considerations. You also need to know some limitations. So this one is possible. This kind of cross database query is possible only with your RA3 node types like 4x large and 16x large at this point of time, and RA3 are able to provide such cross database access because RA3 is designed to have your compute and storage segregated. And in fact, storage can be shared across multiple clusters. And by virtue of that, I mean, you can leverage the feature of having cross database queries. You can leverage the feature of data sharing, which I talked about in one of the earlier videos. Now, you can make join across multiple databases, and when you are making join, you can make join across tables and views. There's no problem at all. I mean, I show you example in the previous one where you created two schema, and then you simply query table you make a query where you're joining two tables in two different database based on the keys. Cross-database query supports when you're trying to run a transactional consistency. Keep in mind that when the transaction begins in the connected database, so you must have understand that when you connect to Redshift, you always connect to a database. But then through this cross-database queries, you can actually fetch data from other databases as well. But your connection is still with one database. So what happens is that when you're making these cross-database queries, and when your transaction begins with the connected database, it does a snapshot isolation. That means whatever data comes from the cross-database queries at that point of time is kind of snapshot. Yeah, it cannot change after that, because it could be that those databases you're querying from are getting their own transactions. That data is getting updated. Okay, but this is one of the things you have to be careful about when you're using your data, that when you are making a cross database queries, the data which you are bringing from your cross databases, they go for snapshot isolation when the transaction begins in your connected database. Yeah, so keep that in mind. Okay, so your data queried from those cross databases are snapshot when the transaction begins. Okay, so moving on, some limitations, not a very big one, but in your connected database, you cannot create a view which will span across multiple databases. So you cannot say, okay, I mean, you saw that you can make query, you can make joins across multiple databases, but you cannot create a view which represents data from multiple cross database. So you cannot convert your query into a view into your connected database. That's the one thing you cannot do. If there are some tables which are supporting your column level privileges, that those tables are not supported. You cannot avail concurrency scaling for the queries when you're trying to make a cross database queries. So cross database queries are not supported by concurrency scaling. And the last one is that you know that with Redshift, you can talk to other databases like PostgreSQL databases, or even other Redshift database, or even Glue catalog or S3 catalog. When you're trying to use this with you're trying to use these federated queries or your Glue query, you cannot club that with your data from your cross database queries. You cannot do that. That is possible only when you create external schema. When you create external schema in every you can do that only if you create external schema referring to each external data source. Yeah, so all data sources can if they have external schemas, then you can make them talk. Otherwise such cross query is not supported. Okay, so what we are going to do today is that we will have a Redshift cluster where we'll create two databases, DB1, DB2. In these two databases, we'll create one table and insert some data into it. Then we'll create external schema out of these two tables, these two databases. we'll connect to the out-of-box dev database. And then in this dev database, we'll simply make query from DojoDB1 and DojoDB2 in a join. Okay, so that's what we are going to see as a part of your cross database query. So let's move on to the Redshift cluster. So here's the Redshift cluster. You can see, guys, I have launched this one. One thing, since this cluster, this feature right now in preview, when you launch the Redshift cluster, make sure that you select this a maintenance track of preview cross database, and of course you have to do till this feature comes out of the preview. So when you launch a cluster, make sure that your maintenance track is selected as preview cross database. Now let's start getting a few things done. So first I will create both databases. So what I will do that I will start the connection to the dev database first. So I will say my database is dev. Then my username is AWS user, and then password connect. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to remove this thing here actually. Yeah. Okay. So now what we are going to do that I'm connected to dev database. I will first create two other databases. Okay. So first I'm going to create DojoDB1. Okay. So let's do this one. So this query we run first. So we create DojoDB1. And we will also create the other database DojoDB2. And what I'm going to do, guys, that I'm going to provide this whatever demo I'm showing you today. I'm going to provide you a script of that demo, and the link of the script will be in the description box below. And of course, you can run this on your own in your own AWS account. So my DojoDB1 has been created. Now let me create DojoDB2. And so DojoDB2 is also created. Now what I will do that I will connect to DojoDB1 and DojoDB2 separately, and I will create tables inside them so that I can we can query those tables into this dev connection. So what I will do here, I'll go to another tab where I have kept this thing open, Redshift cluster open. I'm going to connect here. Okay, and then it needs little work, so I have to go and first say new connection. It's a little painful sometimes, but it's okay. DojoDB1. My user is the same. In this case, and let me enter the password. Okay. Let's connect. So now you can see I'm connected to DojoDB1. So earlier I was connected to dev, which I'm still holding in another tab, but here I'm connecting to DojoDB1. And what I want to do, I want to create a customers table here and insert data for that. So let me do that thing. So first I create customers table, run it. So this customer table has got only two fields, customer number and customer name. And then I'm going to insert some sample data into it. So my table is created in DojoDB1. Now I go to the other, I'm going to insert some record into this table, customers table. So let me do that. Fantastic. So my DojoDB1 has got a customers table now. What I will do, I'll change my connection to DojoDB2. So I have to go here and say I want to do a new connection again. And this time it has to be a DojoDB2. Same AWS user. You can have different login and password as well, guys. I mean, that is also possible. Okay. And I connect here. Okay, so now I'm connecting to DojoDB2, and this time I'm going to create a table inside DojoDB2. So I will create a payments table inside DojoDB2. So in DojoDB1 we have got customers table. Here we are going to create a payments table. Both table has got this customer number as a common ID, okay, as a common key. So let's run this statement to create the payments table. And then I will run another statement oops, looks like something is wrong. Okay, sometime I make mistake. Yeah, you're right. So what I will do, I'll run it again because I think I made a selection. I made a selection and that created the problem. Okay, so you can see that my payments table is ready. Now I will insert data into my payments table. Simply run it. Nothing, guys, just dummy data. Okay, so now it is creating, so what we have done so far, our DojoDB1 has got customers table with its own record. DojoDB2 has got payments table with its own record. Both has got customer number as key, which I intend to use to make a join between two database tables. So now I can come back to my dev. So I have my connection with dev, and I want to make a cross database query between DojoDB1 and DojoDB2. The first thing I need to do is to create the schema for these two databases. So let me do that first. So I take my, I run my first create external schema statement here. So you can see here, create external schema. This is the name of the schema from Redshift database DojoDB1, and that is in the public schema over there. So if I run this one, it will create an external schema for DojoDB1, and then I will do the same thing for DojoDB2. So I change my statement here and say I want to run now the same thing for DojoDB2. Okay, so now I'm getting two schema created for DojoDB1 and DojoDB2 while I'm still connected with dev, guys. I'm not connected to, in this connection, I'm not connected to DojoDB1 or 2, okay? Now, here's the thing. So what you got here is that, look at your schemas. So this is the public schema, which is the local schema for dev. And then there are two external schema. This schema represents DojoDB1, and you can see the customers table over here. This schema represents DojoDB2, and it has got payments table here. Now, if I want, I can make query to these tables right from this connection. So now what I'm doing here, by running this statement, actually I'm saying, give me data of the customers table in DojoDB1 while I'm still connected to dev. Yeah, let's run it. Let's see what happens. Of course it will work, unless I have done something stupid. Yeah. Oops, and I have done, because I made a selection. Yeah, okay. So while it is querying, similarly we can also, so you can see that it can go to, still running for me, but it can go and fetch the customers data from the DojoDB1. So the last one is, in this one, is that you can also make a join actually. So you can make a join like this, where I'm saying that select start from DojoDB2 payments table, DojoDB1 customers table, and make join on customer number ID, because remember the customer number was a common ID between these two tables. If I run this query, actually I'm making join between DojoDB1 and DojoDB2 while I'm still connected to dev database. So let's run it. And guys, while I'm showing this, I mean, a query could be where you have got a local table into dev public schema, and that local table can have joined with your DojoDB1 and DojoDB2. So you can have three-way join as well, where data from dev, DojoDB1, DojoDB2 all come together. I leave that thing to you. So try to create some local table into dev, and then try to enhance this query where you make three-way join between a local schema and two schemas representing the other databases. Right now, I'm just doing with the cross DB in this case, but I leave that to you to practice. So you can see here that I'm making join from tables across two databases, while I'm connected to the third database. So that was all for today, guys, to show you in a very quick demo how cross database query works in Redshift Cluster. It is a very powerful feature which is going to be super helpful for the customer who has got multiple databases in their cluster and they want to make queries around them. Okay. There are more such videos and recording to our website, aws-dojo.com. Please visit our website to learn, to see those videos, exercises, and workshop and learn about AWS services. If you like this video, please click on the like button. Please subscribe to my channel. If you have any feedback or comments, please feel free to provide us either in the comment section of the YouTube channel, or you can also visit our website aws-dojo.com, and it has a context us tab, and you can provide feedback there as well. We always look forward to your feedback to make new content and to improve the quality of the content. I promise to come back again in a couple of days time with another video. In the meantime, have a nice day and stay safe. Bye bye.